Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a Grave Domain Cleric build guide in Baldur's Gate 3. This will be a level 20 build and it's a mod made by Sumradagnoth with the 5th edition's Cleric Subclass combined. The Grave Domain is really interesting because it's got the Sentinel at Death's Door, which allows you to turn critical hits into a normal hit, which is nice because it can potentially end up not hitting you. There's also Path to the Grave, which allows you to use your Channel Divinity to make a target vulnerable to all damage types. Pretty crazy. As well, we got the ability to take souls from enemies and heal ourselves or heal others. This is such a fun class, and I'll be getting right into things here. First, at level 1, you get the Eyes of the Grave. Detect the presence of nearby undead and remove them from hiding. You also get Grave Domain spells Bane and False Life, and also the Circle of Mortality. If you have a team member that's down and you're going to restore health points to them with a spell, you use the highest number instead. So that's really good for picking up downed allies. For cantrips, we're going to take the 2 necromancy ones with Bursting Sinew and Toll the Dead, and it's not bad to have Sacred Flame as well. And for ability scores, I would recommend taking up our Wisdom to 16, Dexterity to 16, and then putting the rest of the points into our Constitution. So 16 Dex, 14 Constitution, 16 Wisdom, 10 Intelligence, and Charisma there. Level 2 is when we get our very powerful Path to the Grave. So curse a creature that you can see and apply vulnerability on them to all attacks damage. So your team members can go in and deal double damage. Pretty crazy. Then we also get the Turn the Dead, pray to turn all undead that you can see you. And then for prepared spells, I would recommend always having at least your healing word there to pick up down allies. But now whenever we got the Circle of Mortality, we can actually heal a little bit better with Cure Wounds. Still wouldn't really recommend grabbing it, but Guiding Bolt is nice. Create or Destroy Water if you have a lightning themed team member on your team. Command is just a very useful spell, probably one of the best cleric level 1s. And we'll also go with Bless and Sanctuary, although again, Create or Destroy Water and even Shield of Faith is a nice spell to have as well. Level 3, we get access to Grave Domain spells Wither and Bloom and the Ray of Enfeeblement. And then for our prepared spells, we're going to take Hold Person and potentially you could also grab a Spiritual Weapon there or take it at next level. It gives us a really useful bonus action. And use the Maul, because the Maul is going to make it easier to land our other attacks with, like, Hold Person and Command. Now, once we get to our next cantrip here, we can actually take some of the ones from Mistress spells, like Word of Radiance or Moonflare there, because this mod requires you to take Mistress spells, so we're going to use it. And then we'll take our Spiritual Weapon there. And for a feat, I would recommend going with a Wisdom increase. This is a level 20 build. You don't have to go to level 20. You can stay at level 12. Alert is a good cantrip, or is a good feat to take as well if you don't go with the ability score improvement. Level 5, Turn Undead, so whenever we, or Destroy Undead, when we turn them, they take a 4d8 of radiant damage. And then we also get Revivify and Vampiric Touch for our Grave Domain spells. And then we'll take something else like Spirit Guardians, obviously one of the best to have. Spirit Shroud is okay. I'd still recommend Spirit Guardians over it. And Glyph of Warding is nice, especially if you're a half-elf or an elf, because you can drop the Glyph of Sleep at your feet and put everyone nearby to sleep. And we'll take Mass Healing Word, just because we do have some decent healing spells, and that's not bad for a bonus action. Level 6 gives us Sentinel at Death's Door. When you are an ally you can see within 9 meters suffers a critical hit, you can use a reaction to make it not critical. That's useful. And then we get to take another spell here. Level 3 does offer a lot of things. Even Animate Dead can work well thematically. I think Glyph of Warding just works a little bit better though, and it gives us another reliable damage option. Level 7 we get Death Ward and Blight, which is decent necrotic spell. And it's going to be our highest damage die for a spell, I suppose. You also get Circle of Life, which is Aurora of Life, which can make resistance to necrotic damage for your whole team. It's very useful in Act 2. Guardian of Faith is not bad. Banishment, not bad. Stone Shape even you got. Hey, we may as well take that. Why not? It just, Mistress spells is included with this, so we may as well take advantage of it. We get the Potent Spellcasting, adding our Wisdom modifier to Cleric cantrips. And then for our next prepared spell, Guardian of Faith is not bad and kind of fits with this theme. And then we'll take our Wisdom all the way up to 20, or again, Alert Feat if you haven't taken it already. Level 9 gives us the Greater Restoration and Enervation here, which allows us to regenerate health each and every turn. It's pretty useful to have. And then for our level 5 spells, Flame Strike, Insect Plague can be good too for the difficult terrain. So those 2 spells, I guess, gives us a lot more offensive viability. Level 10 gives us the Divine Intervention. It's Cleric's ability, very useful. And then we'll take for our next level 5 spell, I guess we can go with a Mass Cure Wounds, because we can actually heal our teammates for maximum. If all 3 of our teammates are down, that gives them a full health roll. So that would take them up to, I guess it's not a whole lot, 29 health, but it's better than nothing. And now we get access to level 6 spells. And this is where things get crazy, because Planar Ally is one of the best spells in the game. So we're going to take that. Lesser regeneration can be kind of cool too, because the target will continuously regain 10 health points at the start of each turn unless it took acid or fire damage. So if you have any items that buff on every time that you heal a team member, you can continuously keep applying like Bless and Blade Ward. It's very useful. Hero's Feast is another really good level 6 spell, and if you got a way to free cast, Hero's Feast is really good. And if you're going to go with that, I'd recommend having Hero's Feast and 8, and if you can get 2 staffs that give you an extra spell, boom, boom, there you go. Harm is also not a bad spell, especially with the Staff of Cherished Necromancy, because this is a level 6 Necromancy spell that we can use. However, let's say the target has 100 max health and they have like 10 health left. If you use this on them and you max roll that 84 damage, it actually doesn't end up, it just reduces their max health, so you don't actually hurt them. Just a little heads up on that spell, because I get some confusion regarding it. And we'll take, I guess, a level 12 alert feat. The ability score improvement on dexterity could be decent. I also like to have the Warcaster if you don't have the Amulet of Greater Health, because this will give you advantage on saving throws, so you hold your Spirit Guardians a little bit longer. And even taking like the Spell Sniper for Eldritch Blast, not a bad choice too if you find you're burning through spell slots, although going this high in level we likely won't, so we'll just roll with it and increase to our initiative there. Level 13 gives us level 7 spell slots, and you can just take whatever spells at this point. We got most of the important ones. You might even want to consider Lesser Restoration and then using any items that are going to buff up your team like Blade Ward and things like that, because we're going to be able to prepare all these. And you can also just swap out these spells at any given time, so it's not super necessary to go and pick through them, because you can always just change it as you see fit. So we'll just skip through these levels here. Now another thing that I think actually works well is taking a few levels in the Wizard, the Necromancy Wizard in particular. So that's actually a really good choice if you don't want to continue with the Grave Domain Cleric, but I'll show you what the full Grave Domain looks like. The Wizard allows us to take Circle of Death and other Chain Lightning, things like that. And if we got Arcane Acuity built up, we can hit really hard. So the Hat of Fire Acuity, and then from the Wizard taking Scorching Ray to get plus 10 to our spell save DC, and then our level 6 spells, it hits really hard. We could go again, Dexterity Improvement is probably going to give us a best survivability. Huff will also give us another 40 health points, so that's another good feat. Now level 17 we get the Keeper of Souls. This is the coolest ability we get. When an enemy you can see dies within 9 meters of you or an ally, you regain amount of health points equal to the enemy's level plus 2. Yeah, it's crazy. Being able to heal your teammates by taking out enemies is so metal. So yeah, I'll show off what that all looks like. We get another Channel Divinity at level 18. At this point, again, you can add in the Wizard and just take some other high level spells. Hat of Fire Acuity and Scorching Ray is perfect. And as mentioned, Tough Feet will actually give us a plus 40 to our health, and we're a support class. Having more health is always a good idea. Level 20 just gives us another spell slot here, or you're going to see we'll have higher level up to 9. Level 8, I mean. So there's our spells. So you can use your Wizard spells to upcast and everything. And as I mentioned, Hat of Fire Acuity and Scorching Ray gives you pretty much plus 10 to your spell save DC. So yeah, our Wisdom one there just has our plus 5 from Wisdom, but with even a modest intelligence, you can get pretty good casting on your Wizard spells. So 2 pieces of gear that are pretty much essential if you want to play a really powerful cleric is the Whispering Promise, easily obtainable from Volo at the start of the game, adding Bless on your heals, which, as mentioned, you can continually keep healing the team with things like Lesser Regeneration, which does not require concentration, so that can proc your Bless every single turn without a concentration, and then also Reviving Hands, which will give Blade Ward the entire team. It's pretty crazy. And then you can also proc these with just Mass Healing Word. So these are 2 pieces of gear that I'd highly recommend grabbing. And this is medium armor, so we're going to stick with the medium armor. So armor of agility there. We'll put our armor class up to 27. We have haste that's 29. And the Hood of the Weave is a plus 2 bonus to spell save DC, which is nice to have for better spell casting. But as mentioned a few times, Hat of Fire Acuity if you're going to add Wizard. Acrobatics, or getting our evasive shoes for the armor class here. And then Ring of Protection as well. I'm also going to use the Staff of Cherished Necromancy. If you have the harm spell, it can apply to that, but you can also go with like Enervation there and Blight. If you take out a target with the staff, it gives you the life essence, which you can then continually keep casting. As mentioned, having Circle of Death for free is really nice, so you can go with that Wizard dip as well. Viconia's Walking Fortress, Hellrider Longbow for plus 3 to initiative, and then I got the Amulet of Greater Health, which puts us at 263 health at level 20, so we're pretty much unhittable. I'm going to say unkillable. Another cool thing is the Eyes of the Grave has a unique icon there, so you can use it per long rest 5 times, which allows you to sense the presence of undead. Now, it's going to be based off Wisdom modifier, but one of the best things is getting those high-level spell slots allows you to actually cast some very powerful versions of spells. So I popped in my Genie here, I popped down the Spiritual Weapon, But what we can also do is, since we got level 5 or level 8 spell slots, Aid will now recover 40 health, give 40 max health to creatures. So that would put us over the 300 mark. That would make our spiritual weapon a tank. That would do a lot of damage. But we can also then do Hero's Feast too to even further increase that. But we got an upcasted Spirit Guardians here, and what Spirit Guardians will do is at 98, so upwards of 72 damage. We could go full Radiating Orbs on here, but you're going to see Spirit Guardians is pretty busted once you get to higher levels. We just burned that guy. And then we also triggered the Keeper of Souls healing ally, so we can take his soul and puff it away to somebody else there. So pretty funny. No one needs health right now, but yeah, our Spirit Guardians hits really hard, as you can see. So you just sometimes have to move around. Oh, we got hit with a opportunity attack here. This is actually a perfect way to show off the Sentinel at Death's Door. So yeah, we were about to get hit with a critical hit, and they need a 29 to hit. So not likely they hit unless they got a critical hit, which boom, well, we still got hurt, but didn't hit as hard, and then we just ripped out the soul. I guess since we already ate the opportunity attack, we can then run around, because yeah, 46 damage on the Spirit Guardians. Yeah, it's a little bit overpowered, but it is kind of funny seeing them just burst into flames like that. And yeah, we got some really fun spells like our Enervation, which will break our concentration on Spirit Guardians. So we could even just go around hitting people with Blight, which upcast all the way can do upwards of 100 damage. So it's not a bad spell whatsoever. It can hit pretty hard. Despite being necrotic damage and a lot of things resist it, you still got a powerful boom that you can do. But one of our coolest abilities is the Path to the Grave. So what we can then do is apply this to a target. They're too far away. And when they, I guess we'll wait for them to come towards us. Actually, we can just make them come towards us. So we can use a command approach. And there's a lot of these here because they can be upcasted. But we're going to use the command approach. And we will upcast it to grab as many people as we can. There's going to be 3 targets there. So we're going to do a level 3 version of that. For some reason, my game's glitched out and I can't see it. But we landed the command on all 3 of them. So that's perfect. We'll just run back here. And they're just going to come towards us. That's one of the beautiful things. I could use the genie to use its Thunderwave attack to push people off of the ledges or just go attack with them. But I want to showcase the special ability that we get here with our Path to the Grave. So bonk, we're going to hit them with that. They now have Cursed Path to the Grave. So if we were to use something like Blight here, and I'm just going to upcast for maximum dramatic purposes, we can then go ahead, 65 damage. Not bad. And then we can heal ourselves with its soul. So we needed a little bit of health after we took that. And then we have our community. It's funny, as we've consumed life essence now from our Staff of Cherished Necromancy, which if we had another action, we can then go ahead with another high level Blight spell, but we'll just go with that. And the genie can Misty Step too, so don't be afraid to set him up and get a good level 4 Thunderwave off. But even so, his main hand attack is pretty strong there, adding extra poison damage. Pretty useful, so yeah, you can go in there with 17 extra damage. Not terrible, not the best. Also, taking Stone Shape, if we have someone that can petrify, we can then crumble them with the Stone Shape Crumble, which does a 20d6 plus 180 force damage. So that's really good. But we have this really fun Channel Divinity, so we're going to want to use that again. We're going to see if I can take out this target here. So we're going to apply that. They're cursed, and then we'll go with our free version of this, which the free version can also be upcast, so that's going to do upwards of 104 damage, and we'll hit them with that. 53 damage. So still not hitting crazy numbers just yet, but yeah, we can then pop Sanctuary anytime we need to. And I was going to show off the last attack, but he stupidly ran into our Spirit Guardians, which I guess we can heal our ally with this. So we'll consume his soul, and yeah, there we go. The Grave Domain Cleric. Works well with this Staff of Cherished Necromancy. Blade's not an amazing spell, but if you have no one else using this staff, it at least gives you the ability to continually cast this at level 6 or level 8, depending on if you're using the increased level mod. But yeah, its biggest, most fun benefit is that Path to the Grave, being able to apply a vulnerability to an enemy. Super fun. So let me know your thoughts, and let me know what 5e Cleric subclass you'd like to see next, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Have a great day.